Hello, and we have a wonderful show for you today. We're going to talk about a dot, the story of the dot. And we're going to use an animation program that Adobe supplies us with called Adobe Animate. And first of all, I want you to get it here down in your quick start bar. You're going to find it under the launch pad. And it looks like that right there. Okay? So just drag that down here and then click on it to get it started. And it's Creative Cloud 2018 is the one you want to pick. Remember, you can pause, rewind, and fast forward this video. It's one-on-one, me and you and the project, getting it done. Okay, so here we go with the ActionScript 3.0. We want to click on that. You saw what I did there, right? Rewind it if you missed that. ActionScript 3.0 is under Create New. All right, so we've got our stage. We're set at 24 frames a second. So every 1 second is at 24 frames. Each one of these rectangles represent a page in a flipbook. This is a digital flipbook, okay? And each one of these rectangles represent a page. And we can create art on each one of these frames, okay? Each one of these. And this, what shows here, is based on all the layers showing at frame 1. We're in the scrubbers right here at frame 1, okay? So I'm going to hit B on the keyboard, and you can see that lights up or shadows the brush tool, B for brush tool. And I set my color right up here. It's the bucket. It's going to set the color for the brush tool. So let's go with a red. And I could also control the diameter of the brush. If I go out here, right, I can increase that size all the way up to that, okay? And it's easy, okay, right? So I can make a big range of brush sizes in pixels. I'm gonna make mine about, right about there. Yeah, that's good. All right, now, you decide where this dot starts, where the story starts. My story, the dot is in the top left corner, so I'm gonna click that. Now, I've got these function keys at the very, very top of my keyboard. If you look at the top left key, it says ESC for escape. We're talking about that row. And if you go across after ESC is F1, it goes all the way across to, I believe, on your Macs, all the way to like F19, all the way on the right top side of the keyboard. So I'm looking for function key 6, F6, okay? And that's going to be a way to copy a frame. So we want to copy frame 1 to frame 2. So we're looking down here, I'm going to hit the F6 key, and you can see that now I've moved, my scrubber's moved to frame 2, and it's the same thing, it's copy. We're using doubles. We're going to create new animation on the odd number of frames and make copies on the even. That way, 24 frames per second, we're actually just creating 12 different images instead of 24. So it's going to speed up the work, and it's going to still look good when your viewers watch it, okay? So I'm going to hit F7 after I hit F6. That gives me a blank keyboard, but you could see I no longer can see the previous frame, frame 1 and frame 2. And that's going to mess me up because it helps me to know where that dot was so I can put it in the new position, because I forgot where the dot's at, okay? I know the dot's here, right, if I move the scrubber, but I forgot where it's at. So I want to see where it's at. So we have a feature called onion skinning, and it's right here. If you click onion skin, then it's going to allow you to see the frames behind it. And it makes it a different color because it's trying to let you know it's a different frame. So you know that this is red, but it lightens it up to a, or darkens it to a purple, all right? But when you actually play it, if we actually look at that frame and move it, oh, it's giving me a hard time there, but if we moved it, we would see that is red. Okay, so I'm going to move it now here. Click it there. And now I hit F6 and F7 again. And now I'm going to move it here. F6, F7. 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 Move it there. Excuse me. Oops, I hit F5. That's a mistake. So I'm going to Command Z. F6, F7. All right, and so F6 again, in F7 again. All right, so we could see here I've got about 16 frames of animation. If I want to preview what I've got and loop it in the preview, I'm going to hold the command key down and hit enter or return, and there it is. Okay, so it's just looping back and forth, and the persistence of vision is tricking us into thinking that that dot's really moving across the screen when we know it's not. Okay, go ahead and close that out. If you have a Windows keyboard and the command return doesn't work for you, and it won't, you have to go up here to Control and then go to Test Movie. I'm sorry. Try this one. Just Control Test. My bad. Control Test. Click that, and then it'll open up for you. Okay? There we go. All right, I'm going to continue now. So I'm going to move my F6, F7 dot now, F6, F7 to the middle, F6, F7, F6, F7. This is my story. I don't want you to copy my story. You do your own story about your dot. Okay, my dot's gonna, at this point, meet a new dot right here. Okay, so I'm just put 2 dots in, F6, F7, and my dot doesn't like that dot, so it's going to start to move away. That dot wants to talk to that dot, so it's going to get closer. F6, F7. See, I'm telling my story. Real close. F6, F7. F6, F7. And at this point, the dots meet up. So to show that, I'm going to change the color to green. And boom. Okay, make it green. So now let's see what our movie looks like. Now we're at frame 32. Let me F6, F7 again. Now at frame 34. And let's take a look at what our movie looks like now. So I'm going to go up here to Control Test or Command Return. Okay. It's going pretty quick, huh? I could slow it down. Hit the X. If I want to go and switch to the selection tool up here at the top and click on the stage, I get the properties of the stage right here, and I could slow it down to like maybe 15 frames a second. And now when I play it, so I'm going to command return, slows it down a little bit. I can it still looks like still looks like it's moving. Persistence of vision is still at play here, but it slows it down so it tells the story a little better. So you can play around with the frames per second, slowing it down. That's a good thing to know, huh? Well, I want you to continue with this all the way to at least over here, telling your story. 5 seconds, which would be right at 75 frames for 5 seconds. Pretty close to it, right? And that's what you want to do to tell your story. You can go longer, but you can't go shorter. I don't want you to go any shorter than 75 frames because we know you're actually doing half of that because we're doing F6s for half of them, which are copies, and F7s are the only ones you're actually drawing new work on. All right, so this is called File Save As. This is called theDotFL. theDotFL. Keep it in your documents and click Save. And when you're ready to export it, when you're done, okay, we're finished with this. We want to export it as an animated GIF and put it on our graphics page, our animation page in Wix, okay? Not our graphics page. I was wrong. We want to go to Wix and put it on our animation page, okay? Because we're in Unit 3 now. Hey, we made it all the way to Unit 3. That's pretty good. All right, so now what you want to do is export it as an animated GIF. So we're going to go File, Export, Export Animated GIF. Okay, Export Animated GIF. You're going to get a new window. Okay, and first thing we want to do is turn off transparency And we want to come up here and GIF 128 dithered is our choice. You've seen the screen before. We want to make sure it's looping forever. Let's click play. There it goes. Okay, good. All right, so let us save that. And it's going to be the .fl.gif. Save that. Okay. And we're going to take that animated GIF, that the .fl.gif, and put that on our animation page. Our animation